got frustrated. I think some of it, I think we're a little fatigued, and I think John did a hell of a job. I do think that is one of his better defensive teams. They did a very good job. But I went into the game thinking our 5 men were going to hurt us against them, and we had 17 and 14 rebounds with our 2 5-men. It was our guards that really didn't play very well, and you got to give Monk credit. He was 3 for I think 13 going in, and he hit some big threes early, unguarded on the break, and which they're very, very good at. And then just got going, and then goes 7 for 11. I mean, he only got hits of 3. If you look at our game plan, we wanted to somewhat contain Fox. I thought we did an okay job. Our problems are the turnovers in the offense. So I don't have any excuse on why our shooters aren't ready to shoot, but we're going to have to improve. I do think that we didn't shoot it well today when we got here. Maybe the legs are a little gone, but we're going to have to improve on the turnovers and shoot. So, yeah.
Coach, what specifically about Kentucky's defense gave you issues?
They're just athletic and long. I mean, they're so long. I mean, we're a midget crew and they're a long crew. So they're long at every position. Starting from the point. It's 5'10" to 6'3", and then Monk and Harris. I mean, I was disappointed. I thought Aaron, was one of our better defenders last year. Didn't play as well, but inside we got some penetration like we thought we could. They got shot blockers back there. Winston's gonna have to learn to pull up and shoot it, not try to take it to the hole. So they have depth. I don't think John's real pleased with all the way his guys played either. I mean, I thought he had some guys that didn't play as well as they can play, but that's what happens, especially with freshmen. The only freshman that really played was probably Monk, and we didn't have. Ward did a decent job for us, but we didn't get much out of our freshmen.
How limited do you think this team is?
It's not as limited as don't jump off the tree yet. It's what we are is we're short. What we are is we should be getting beat on the boards. What we are is we should be getting killed in the post, and that didn't happen. But the problem when we lost the 2 bigs is, we've got to cover things differently now. Gavin Schilling could guard a guard, so we could cover ball screens a little differently. So it's going to take some time and some work. And I'm not going to make an excuse for me, but I am going to make one for my players. It was a long trip, and you come here and play maybe the most athletic team we'll play all year, and we didn't. We hung in there. The play before halftime was disappointing, but we're a better offensive team than this. I thought we'd be a better shooting team. McQuaid was never ready to shoot. Miles. I felt for Miles. I watched Josh Jackson out in California, and this happens to freshmen. I told Miles that. He got frustrated. He didn't get ticked off. He got frustrated. He tried to do some things that they were loading up on him. Give John credit. They did a hell of a job defensively every time he touched it. But Miles got to learn. We got to move the ball better. And it was more our lack of offensive execution than it was maybe just not making shots. I thought we had some open looks that we missed. We missed some free throws. You got to give the kid a lot of credit. I thought Briscoe, he's not a very good free throw shooter, and he knocked every free throw in. Just a tough, gritty kid. You got to love that kid. I thought we did a decent job on him for a while, and then he broke loose a little bit. But the difference in the game was Monk, and I thought a lot of their guys didn't play up to their billing, and a lot of our guys didn't play up to ours.
Obviously, the hope of these first 2 games was to grow up fast. What's the level of concern about the opposite effect?
Well, there's no opposite effect. The growing up fast has to happen, but it's not like we had 1 day prep coming here after getting back. So really, it's hard to grow up when you have no preparation time. And we'll get back. We'll have 1 day prep, and just a bad month for us. But that part doesn't faze me. I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried. I got good guys. I was very disappointed in the way we kind of deer in the headlights. But you get 4 freshmen played in Madison Square Garden, and coming off the Hawaii trip, that's the way we play. We'll get better. I thought we would be worse defensively than we were in the last 2 games. We've held teams to 38% both games. it's our offense that is on our radar.
You talk. I'll call on you. I'm just making my way down. Okay.
Did you officiate tonight? Those officials talk to me that way.
Tommy, you're not a freshman, but Aaron Harris not a freshman. What have you seen in the preseason that maybe you're still waiting to see a couple games in from Aaron?
Yeah, I was disappointed in Aaron, if you want the truth. I mean, you know, he was our best defensive player last year, and sometimes when you switch roles, you forget where you came from. So we got to get him back on track a little bit. He is a good shooter. We got to get him more shots. That's one thing that, you know, our execution was poor, and you know, we just need a little more time with Nick because he's a pretty good offensive player, but not very good getting through the plays, and that hurts Aaron on the ball screens and that. So, you know, Aaron's got to do a better job.
Tom, going back to Bridges, led the team in scoring the other night. Didn't have such a great night in terms of points tonight, but led the team with boards. For such a young kid, what are you looking for in terms of improvement? Would you rather see more points or more boards for him?
I wanted to see more boards coming into this game. Now I'm switching back more points, so I'm confusing him a little bit. But you know what? Miles came off with a minute and a half left, and I said, Miles, welcome to the real world. You know, no more high school, no more. You know, you're going to get doubled. You're going to get this. You're going to get that. You know, just register and learn, because this is part of the process. You know, your buddy went through it up in Hawaii. There's different guys that are going through it right now. But I thought John did a good job on him too. You know, give John some credit and his team. But you know, in general, Miles started doing things that he can do, but he can't do when it's 1 against 3. And so that's a little bit my fault. I got to do a better job of getting through to him because he's an extremely coachable kid, and nobody's more hurt than he is, and that's kind of a treat.
Over here.
You talked about it all week. You didn't want to see turnovers for touchdowns, and that's kind of what happened early on.
You know, there were a couple layups, but I thought we did a decent job of that. These turnovers were they were off of made baskets. We scored it, and we sat there and looked at it, and Monk came down, hit 2 threes right in our face after we scored. And so that was the start of it. Then we got him going. God, he goes 7 for 11. And most of them were pretty good shots, you know. We did not guard him with a fishnet, so we got to do a better job on that. But the ones for touchdowns, there were a couple, but, you know, Kentucky is brutalizing people with their turnovers. The free throws, they've been averaging 35 a game. You know, they got 20. The rebounds, I'm sure John's not happy about that because we should not rebound them. But the turnover is 20 to 14. I mean, probably not happy with his 14, and I'm ticked off about my 20.
Right there.
You obviously went with Josh Langford and Ketchlinson in the second half to start. Is that, what were you looking for there? And are you making a transition there? Or?
No. Quarterback controversy over here. No, I'm trying to find someone who'll guard somebody. And if you know, it's going to be simple for Harris. You don't want to guard him on the play. You know, that's the way it's going to be. And Langford, you know, hasn't played much in the last 3 weeks because of the injury, and I'm going to get him some time. But I can't say anybody checked real well, but I thought Tum Tum said it best, you know. Freshmen are going to have up and downs. The upperclassmen didn't do a very good job, and that's kind of that, and the coaches. The coaches got to do a better job making sure that ball's moving a little bit more.
Okay, right here, Coach Flynn.
Coach, you've always played a difficult schedule, but when you combine the schedule, the travel, and the personnel limitations, how challenging has this first couple of weeks been compared to other past years?
Finally, a good question. You know, John, it was, you know, when you make the schedule, I mean, you know, we're a little different than Kentucky and Duke. I mean, they get guys they know are gone after a year. You know, we thought Deontay would have been here, and there's a 6'10" pro that, you know, until the very end of the year was all coming back, and then we lose the 2 6'9" guys, especially both with experience. It's been a challenge. The travel has been a challenge. But it's going to make us stronger and better, you know. I mean, Miles was embarrassed tonight, as his words went. And That's good. That's really good, you know? I mean, some teams are out there beating people by 30. Of course, Kentucky beat us by 20, but I mean, you know, beating teams by 30 and they're getting a false feel for where they're really at. And I told my guys, you're going to get exposed. But, you know, we're going to look at 2/3 of this game and say, well, okay, we played pretty good. We took a couple punches in the mouth and hung in there and played pretty good. That play right before the half was a big play, and that's one of the learning things, you know, momentum, different level. Momentum changes things, and so I'm not discouraged. I don't think we're going to be a poor team. I don't know who was picked 1, 2, 3, and 4 by football. I'm just sure as hell glad that I'm in the round ball sport because I get a chance to regroup here. Most of those guys don't, you know. And so did I take on more than I can chew? Not if we didn't lose a guy and we didn't have the injuries. Then it would have been inhuman. Now it's ridiculous because the travel, the injuries, and that. And I got to make sure I'm aware of that with my guys. But I don't think that has anything to do with coming out of a timeout and not being able to execute a play or not getting back on defense. So I got to pick and choose after watching the film what I like, what I didn't like. But what I did like is I think Kentucky's got a nice team. I think, you know, if Monk shoots it like that, they're a real good team. If they're struggle from the 3, that's going to be their negative right now. But hell, he's young too. And, you know, I really like Fox. I think he can do a lot of things. And, you know, the kid I like was Gabriel, you know, watching him on film. But he kind of played like a freshman tonight too, you know. So those guys are going to go through growing pains. It's not just us. I'm just glad I saw him where most of his guys did too. Because it gives me, you know, I don't go through that every day. That's what I told him before the game. I said, I don't know how in the hell you do it. You know, because I don't do that every day. But it wasn't our 4 freshmen. It was those upperclassmen that aren't there right now. You know, whether it be Dede, whether it be Schilling is a big part of us. So it's going to take some while, but we're going to get Nick. Nick's a better offensive player. He just struggles a little bit defense. We're going to get him better, and we're going to we'll get our offense a little more fluid, and we'll get Miles. Trust me on this. Me, Miles Bridges is one of the most coachable, great players. He still competed, didn't hang his head, but he did struggle, and he got his butt kicked tonight. And you know what? Warriors, good players, they're going to self-evaluate and get better from that. Whereas if he would have scored 30 again against the Sisters of the Poor, it wouldn't have mattered. So I still like what I do. I keep telling my media I'm going to change my theory on scheduling. And sometimes I say a player makes dumb mistakes. This coach makes dumb mistakes too, but it ain't broke, so why fix it? You know, it's worked for us. And the goal is to be good at the end of the year. I've never been last year was an anomaly. You know, we went 13-0 to start the season. I don't think I've ever not lost 2, 3, or 4 games, sometimes 5 and 6 in a non-conference, and still went to a Final Four. So I don't care. I just care about how we played tonight. We didn't play as good as we need to play. So appreciate it. Kentucky was good, and New York was great. So I appreciate you having us.